second. He's
Oh, there we go.
okay. All right. So if we turn to the first page, and Anish, you took a test this week?
Yeah, on the Blue Book app.
Good. Did you, Addie? Okay, good girl. All right. So we're going to start on the first page. And like I said, we're going to get into, starts pretty simple. But what I wanted to say is there's 100 points or 10 questions on these topics on the test. So we're going to show you some strategies, but just knowing that 100 points is up for grabs is pretty important. So it's good to see Addie and Anish again. Okay, when you have, this starts very simply. Every straight line on the test is 180, and you know, A plus B is supplementary, A plus C is supplementary, and vertical angles are equal. Moving down, they're also going to test you on alternate interior angles. So what I like to do is just say, mark them. So A equals D, C equals B, E equals H, and G equals F. Pretty simple. Now we're going to go to some book problems, and I realize it's going to take a minute to get to these. So let's start on 504, number 11. Next week, we're going to be doing the grammar lesson. Today, we're going to do how to write the essay. Oh, Jimmy found something out, which is, what do you want to tell them about Yellick Institute?
Oh, yeah, so each module has 2 experimental questions.
But you won't know where they are.
Yeah, you won't know where they are. They don't count for
They
anything.
don't count. So you work for the College Board, each module,
Yeah, each module has 2, so they experiment on you.
and you pay for the privilege. Sorry.
But that's just how they field test future questions.
Yeah, so there's
So
two,
they don't count against you. They don't count for you. They're
Yeah.
just there.
yeah,
So just do your best on everything because you're not going to know which ones they are.
yeah.
But just so you're aware of that. But I did want to mention that aside from the experimental questions, if you want to get above a 1500, it looks like the most you can miss per module is 2.
So 2 per module to
Yeah,
get,
not including those experimental ones.
to get a
And
1500.
even that's kind of pushing it because module 1 is so important. It would be even better if you could only maybe miss 1 on that module, but that's sort of how close they're cutting it, just,
Okay.
you know, based on the
So
math.
we know the figure's not drawn to scale for this one, and our job is to find x. So we can label our alternate interior angles and the other ones. And so they give us that this is 110. And so this obviously will be 70. And so x will be 70. Is that good for everybody? Nodding heads for Anish and Addie. Sahana, you're good with it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart. Okay, then we're also gonna try another one, but I gotta move us. Woo. Okay, I'm going to clear canvas. I'd like to try 579. Like I said, these kind of questions are all over the test. So you can get started on this one and then I'll catch up, but it's a little harder.
Is that number 7?
Yeah, number 7, I'm sorry. I want you to give it a go. Do as far as you can.
I think it's 42.
Yeah, oh, there's some fly in here.
Twenty-nine plus 13, right? 42.
Yeah, well, I wrote it wrong.
Oh, yeah, you did. It's a 13, not a 12.
Sorry.
That would help.
Yeah,
So 42 is 2K.
then we have to put it in the equation. So I'll pick the 6. And this is in module 2, so it's a little harder.
Six times 21 is 126.
Yeah, I got that. And
Yeah.
then,
Plus the 13 is 139.
yes. And so we're after Z.
Yeah, so 139 plus your Z is gonna give you the 180.
Everybody get 41?
Yes.
Okay, Eddie, are you good? That was harder. Okay, and let's see, 299. Okay, we're gonna try a really hard one now. Well, not that bad. And I would draw the picture for it. Hmm. So now this is 42. And then,
Yeah, they tell you that AQB is 76.
this
And
is,
because they're congruent, the other one's gonna be 76 too.
yeah,
Right, right
Yes.
there is 76.
so this is 76.
And so is the other one on the other side, yeah.
Yeah. And then. So then we're gonna have to know that a triangle's 180. We haven't done that yet. So. If this is 62. The alternate interior angle, which is what we're
So
at,
that's what you're after, is 62 up there.
this will be 62. So there are isosceles triangles. Did anybody get 62? Anish? Or Sehana? We'll go through it slowly again. Okay, so check your own work. So we'll start again. This is A. So see if you could find out where you sort of
I think the key to this one is realizing that with the parallel lines, once you know that both of those little triangles have 21s in them, the whole figure is equivalent on either side.
Yeah. So these are isosceles triangles.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So this is 21. And this is 21, and we figured this was 138. This is a deep water problem. So every line is,
Could you draw that any smaller?
I drew this really small, I'm sorry. I guess I should start over.
Yeah, I think you just maybe try to draw a little bigger. I think you're trying to leave that other one up, and so.
Yeah, I'm trying to leave the other one up. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're drawing this line, and we know that they give us that angle ABP is 21 and QAB is 21. So that's 42. And so 42 from 180 is 136 for this.
138, right?
138, sorry. So this is 138. This is 138. And we actually have isosceles triangles, which we're going to do in the next class.
And they tell you AQB is 76.
So AQB is 76.
And it's sort of up to you to know that there's gonna be another 76 at that other triangle, because everything's congruent.
Yeah. So if this is 76, then we're also going to know that PAQ, It's
The
good.
P side, yeah, the bottom is 76.
PAQ, so that's going to be
I
on,
would say, no, I would say APB, you know what I mean? The P is like the middle. That's the angle you're talking about, right?
we're trying to get, the
This-
A is in the middle.
Well, I'm saying this is 76. You're trying to solve for that eventually, but this is 76 if that's 76.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, but they don't say, you know, they don't tell you that, but that's just, it's a fact because of the parallel lines. Everything's congruent.
And so basically, we're going to have 76 and 41 is 117 from 180. No, that's not right, Jim.
Yeah, I didn't say that, was that, it's
Oh, it's,
58.
yeah.
Wait, no, I'm sorry, it's 42 plus 76 is 118.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
180 minus 118 is your 62.
So this one will be 62. Sorry, it's a little messy. Does that help, Inish? Are you good with it? Okay, Sahana, are you good?
Yes.
Okay,
That was
Eddie,
pretty hard. You think that would be like module 2 maybe?
that would definitely be at the end zone. And I didn't do that with the other kids on Sunday, but I just noticed, Eddie, are you okay with that? Okay, great. Okay, moving on. Let's go on to the next page in the packet. Okay, so like I said, I'm taking this group into deep water. So here's a similar question. Okay, so these are parallel and these are parallel. So we know A is 125. So it's vertical. Buddy is 125, and then these lines are parallel. So this is 125. And we're trying to get B, so this will be 55. And so B would be 55. Is that good?
I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit.
Oh,
Well, maybe that was too much.
Eddie and Anish, just a vertical nod if it's okay. Sahana, you're good?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, let's go on to another one. Now, if they're drawing, this is again deep water. So if you get, we're gonna do more geometry in the triangle lesson, but you fill in what you know. We're trying to get X. So if this is 50 and this is 40, because everything has to be 180, that's 90. And then, so the best thing to do is to darken the line so you're not, oh my. So this is gonna be 90. So what would X be, Anish? If 60 plus X is 90, X would be,
What's that? 30.
yes, 30s. Everybody see it? So to help make this pop, just darken the vertical lines. You can do that on your test. We'll try another one like that. Okay, on the next page. Okay, so we have isosceles triangles again, but they're making us do double work. So you can work ahead of me. B is gonna be 60, so we're gonna put that in.
Why do they put figure not drawn to scale?
Because so you can't trust your eyes. So we have 180 minus A is 2B. B is 60, so that'll be 120. Sorry, that's a 2. This glass thing is hard to write on. So A is 60. And you can see
Yeah, they don't look equilateral at all.
it's not, doesn't look equilateral, but it is. So the angles opposite two sides of a triangle. So these bottom two angles are going to have to add up to 120. And so X is 60. And you don't panic because it doesn't look like an equilateral triangle. You just say X is 60. So Anish head bob, Eddie head bob. Yes, we're good. Sahana, good?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Here's another one. We're going to try the strategy of darkening. So we're going to darken the parallel lines. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is label the vertical angles. So that'll be A, that'll be B, and that'll be C. So we're going to darken the parallel lines. And then they have this other line to distract us. So I'm just going to darken, whoops. Oh, Lord, so hard to write on this glass. So I darken the transversal.
So they want that X.
So they want
Yeah.
X and its alternate buddy is A plus C. So the answer is B.
Break it down.
Does that make sense? You don't know how you're going to get there on some geometry questions, so you just fill in what you know. So I filled in the A's, the B's, and the C's, and then I darkened that transversal pretty crazily. So, Addie, are you good? Anish nodding heads, good? Sahana, good?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try some book ones. Some of these will be sort of easy. Some of these might be a little harder. Okay, so we're going to the whiteboard. Okay, some of these will seem very simple. So let's go to 349, number 13. Like I said, every test has about 10 questions from this packet, so they should be just givens. We'll get to some of them might be hard, and we'll get to some of those. No, this wasn't what I wanted to do. Sorry. I don't think,
I
no,
think you're on the wrong page, because I'm seeing one.
Where?
349, number 13.
okay, sorry. 349. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to do.
Yeah, but this is pretty easy, but
Yeah.
for like a number 13,
Yeah, this is just like, thank you, College Board, for
Yeah,
10
thanks
points.
for the almost free 10 points.
Yeah. And so all we have to do is solve for X. And so X is gonna be 47. Everybody,
You're just taking 180 minus that,
Yeah.
yeah.
everybody good with that one, I know. It's a little easy.
Hey, we'll take it, right? We need some easy ones.
We need some easy ones. Okay, let's try a little bit more. Let's try 504, number 11. Everybody gets 70? Yes, nodding heads, good. Okay. Okay, we're also gonna try 498. Um. 498. Now, this brings up a strategy I want to do. So this is x-intercept.
Which question you?
We're going to be doing 498. I am going on to something a little bit different, number 16. Okay, so the x-intercept and the y-intercept, a quick way so you don't get confused on this is to use this little tool. So for the x-intercept, y is 0, and for the y-intercept, x is 0. Okay, so I'm doing number 16 on 498. So we have the function h of x equals 4x plus 28. Whoops. So the x-intercept is going to be at a0. So I put 0 in for the y. Subtract 18. Oh, it's 28, sorry.
Yeah,
So x is going to be -7. Now, to get the y-intercept, I'm going to put in x is 0. So x is just going to be 28. But the problem
or
as,
h of x, right?
yeah,
or y, right?
or y is 28 when I put 0 in for x. So 28 minus 7 on this planet would be 21, which is going to be a. So everybody good? Anish, you're good. Addie, good. So Hannah, I have to hear it. I'm go-
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more of these. It's a little harder. This is the tool. So we're gonna go to that was 498, and we're gonna go to 350, number 18. This should be easy. Okay, so number 18, we have this equation. Whoops. And we want, when the object is kicked, t is going to be 0. So I'll put 0 in for everything, and the answer will be, sounds like a big bingo game, D9, right? So I just put t is 0 when you start to throw the ball,
We're kicking it. We're
or
kicking
they're
it.
kicking it, sorry.
It's like a little physics equation. That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. And then um okay, 349. I think we were just there, but just you can see these problems are all over the test.
I think you might have done this one. This is,
I did 13, but
Yeah.
I want to do 14.
oh, okay.
So try 14 using this little tool. Go ahead of me. Oh, Lord. Try to write this as neatly as I can. So we're first going to get the x-intercept. We'll get the y-intercept. So that's going to be when x is 0. So we want b over a. Look at what they're asking for in the prompt. It's sort of weird. So we want to take the b value, which is the y, over the a value. We're in module 2 now. And the y value is minus 31 over 7. And when you divide by fractions, you flip it. And so we're going to get d7/2. So hopefully this little tool is, when you see intercept, you can go right to that. Anish, you're good? Addie, you're good? Yes, Sahana?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All righty. So we're on to the next page. Let's see. Okay. Now we're getting into slopes. So like I said, they have to make some of these hard, otherwise everybody get an 800, right? But, okay, so they don't give you this slope formula at all, but you've had it for a long time, and they don't give you this. And obviously, the m is your rate, and the b is the y-intercept. So you're familiar with that formula, I'm sure. And then we're going to go down to, this is the point slope form. So parallel lines have the same slope, right? And different y-intercepts. So I want to do some of those. Let's go to, okay, back to the whiteboard. So this will be very simple. We're going to go to 323. and look at number 14.
I don't know about that page number.
Oh, wait. No, sorry. I'll fix it. Um. 3. I'll find it. We're gonna come to that problem in a minute, so. Oh, so let's go to 574. I'll find the right page. I like to do book questions because number 18. And we want no solution. It should take you 5 seconds now. Parallel lines, same slope, different y-intercepts. It should pop out right at you. What's the right answer, Sahana? Same. C, yes. Oops. This won't let me write. Does everybody see that? Because we have 16x plus, so that should be a 5-second problem. No solution. Different y-intercepts, and we're in module 1, pretty high up. So let's go to the next page, and quite a hard one. Again, we're doing number 22 on 575. So like I
You
said,
just want them to try it ahead of you, or?
yeah, go ahead and try it ahead of me, and I'll just work it down. So,
You did something wrong here.
okay,
All you're doing is you're taking the y equals 9/10 x minus
Mm.
19/10. You're
Right.
subtracting minus 40 over 10
yes,
to get minus 59 over 10.
so I have at this point, I have y
Yeah.
equals this.
So from right here, you're
Mhm.
subtracting minus 40 over 4. Or minus 40 over 10, I meant, sorry. Sorry. Down 4, yeah. Wait, just yeah, not a minus 9/10. That's the
Oh, that's
problem.
plus,
It's
yeah.
always been plus. Yeah, you have it all the way up to there
Yeah,
being minus. Can you just maybe make them all plus?
this should be a plus.
They're all plus, yeah.
Oh,
No, the 9x, yeah.
okay, and then multiplying this side by,
So then you get 59/10 equals 9/10 x. and then
Yes.
Cross multiply. Yeah, that's a plus. That's a plus.
it's a plus 9x, yeah. Okay, moment of truth. Anybody get 59/9? Inish, yes. Patty, are you
Yes.
good? Sahana?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Okay, I wanted to cover some harder ones for you people especially. So back to the packet. Or no, we're gonna do some slow problems from the book. Some easy and some hard ones. So let's go to 503, number 8. This will just be like candy for you guys. Pretty easy. Like I said, module 2 though. So we're just gonna do the cost is 11 a day plus the one-time insurance fee of 10. And so everybody get the answer is C. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. Okay, I'm just gonna race through a couple more of these. Okay, that was 503. Let's go to 573. Number 11. Well, also, wait, 573. Let's look at number 8 first. The given function G models the number of gallons of gasoline that remains from a full gallon of tank in a car after driving in miles. According to the model, about how many gallons of gas are used to drive each model? So I'm going to put in, the answer would be what? It would just be A, right? Is that right, Jim?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, everybody good with that one? Not so bad. So, the other one on that page, so we did 8. Let's look at number 11 on that same page. So they gave us a table, and we know the equation is mx minus 28. So we have to get the slope. So you're going to pick 2 points, work ahead of me. And then use the slope formula, obviously. And you could pick any 2 points. So we're just using the slope formula. Everybody get 11? nodding heads. Addie nodding. Sahana, good?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, now we're gonna go to 497. We're gonna try 10 first. See, this stuff is all over the test. Sometimes there'll be easy ones. And then, but if you can do the easy ones fast. 497. Okay. First, I'll give you the number 10. So you're just gonna have to get the slope. You already know your B is gonna be 2.
$834, right?
Yes. So we need 4x plus 2 they gave us the y-intercept. So everybody gets C for that one? Yes, nodding heads, Eddie, good. Just look at 12 a little bit for a second. Well, there's a lot on this page, so let's look at 12 first.
Why don't you just clear the screen?
Oh, yeah. Because so if you read 12, the function W models a volume of liquids in milliliters in a container T seconds after it begins. So if we have 300 minus 4T, because it says, what's the predicted volume draining? So because they use the word draining, we don't have to worry about this negative number, and it would just be D4. Does sound like we're playing bingo. Good. So while we're there, let's go to the top of the page. See, stuff is all over the test. We're going to look at number 9 on that same page. Like there's a panoply of questions from this section. So just looking at this without even trying anything, I'll put a niche on the spot. So so how many, where will the graphs intersect, Anish? How many points?
None.
None, because we have the same slope and different. You see how that's so easy? So we can look at a number 9 and do it in 5 seconds because we have that in our brain. Okay, so just a couple more. Well, let's go to 349. We'll wrap this up pretty quickly. But I just wanted you have all these.
You know which number?
1 second, yeah. So on 349,
You did these two already.
I did those two, yeah. Let's see. 349. Okay, 349, number 11. You can use your calculator on this one. So are we good with C? Inish, good?
You're saying F of 400, right? Not F of 36.
Yeah. Addie and Sahana, good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we've covered a lot of those. Let's go to the next page. So we did 349, 350, number 16. So everybody get 16 is C? Yes? Eddie, you're good? She might have stepped away for a minute. Sahana, you're good?
Yes.
Okay, let's try one more. Since we're in module 2, let's try 351, number 20. So they give you the y-intercept again. It's 0.8, and we just have to work the slope formula.
Can you admit, Addie?
Yes, hi, you're back. Yay. But we can't see you, but 0.8. Beautiful picture though, sweetheart. 0.8 and 112. So that's 351. And we're doing number 20. So we would just do 12 minus 8. So we just want, the slope is 4. Now I can see Eddie's beautiful face. Okay, and then we found this, the y-intercept is going to be 8. And so that one will be D. So Inish, you got D for that one? Yes, Sahana, good?
Yeah.
And Addie, you're good too, right?
It's funny how much of this test is just this packet.
Yeah, this test is all over the packet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we could look at, let's see, 215. But I mean, there's so many questions that you're gonna see this. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be on the systems, so we're good. Okay, so now on the next page,
Back to the packet.
back to the packet, yeah. Okay,
You want coffee?
yes. Okay, so for this one, you'll definitely be asked this. So perpendicular lines are the negative reciprocal, right? So if we have this picture, I'll move all of us. Okay, just intriguing for me because so we have -3/2. So the perpendicular line will be 2/3, right? We're going to do some of those in a second in the book. So we want to do a whole panoply of questions. Looking at this one, we know right away the slope is going to be negative and it's going to be down 3/2. Or you could use the slope formula if you wanted to be sure. So that would be 3 minus 0. And so the slope is going to be a -3/2. And we can see it goes through 3. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. I'm sure you all got that one. Okay. We need to get the slope from this one, and the only way we can do it is if we put this into y equals mx plus b mode. So try to beat me to the answer. Okay, we're putting this expression into y equals mx plus b. And all we're after is the slope. And so it's going to be a -8/5. Right? Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. Okay. Now, sometimes they give you a table. There's a couple ways to do this. We can see we're trying to get y equals mx plus b because we know those questions are all over the test. We're going to put in, we know the b is going to be 2. And we could calculate the slope easily, 6 minus 4. So the slope is going to be 2. If I pick, so I do 4 minus 2. Sorry. Over 1 minus 0, so the slope is 2. So I know I have 2x plus 2. Thank you. Another strategy is to use the points. And I could, maybe that's faster for you. But don't pick A because look, 0, 2 works for A, but remember I said they're going to put a lot of traps in for A. Not that A will never be the right answer. So if I put 0, 2, that works, but 1 for X does not equal 4 for Y. So I would have to, so everybody good with C for that one? Nodding head, Eddie. Sana, you're good? That's a popular question. And they could also do it like this, horizontally. Okay, let's try number 4. I like to see it. So we have a line in the XY coordinate plane, goes through the origin, so that's 0, 0, and it has a slope of 1/6. So that's up 1 over 6. So I know that 6, 1 is going to be a point on that line. I think it helps to draw it because then you can see. So with 0, I'll put a different color.
It says 3 dots right where the blue is, right under the blue. It's the dots. Yeah.
Okay, wait. I'm
Well,
hitting.
you hit it too many times. Yeah. Okay, and now you can just draw on the screen and it'll work.
Okay, so with 0, 6, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, let's try to get, no, you got it.
But I don't, okay.
Yeah.
0, 6, does that work? No. Does 1, 6, 1 over 6 up work? No. Does 6 over 6 up work? No. So what about,
Yeah, just if I go this way, then you can write over there.
okay, so that, will 12, 2 work? Yes, right? Because that'll give us the same slope. So the answer for that one is D. Like I'm trying to anticipate every question you might get, because though if you see it again. Okay, so let's look at this one. Line L is represented in the XY coordinate plane. I'm going to translate it up 3 and over 5. So let's figure out the slope of line L first. So I have 0, 3. No matter what I do. And like I said, you can get, the slope is going to be -1 for this line. And if I move it up and over, the slope will still be -1. Is everybody good with that? Okay, thank you. So Addie, good, nodding head, just so I see it. And Sahana, good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So now we have, just blesses me to hear your voice. So we have, I don't want this kind of question to confuse you. Because they're bringing in A, but our A is going to be our X. And our B is gonna be our Y. So I just like you to solve for K. Just want to ensure you get all these points. So everybody get A? Eddie, are you good with A? So what I did was, I wrote it this way. I don't want the A and B confuse you because you're going, what do I put those in? Well, they just want you to put A in for X, B in for Y, and so you get B minus 5 over A. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. Okay, this should be an easy one. In the XY coordinate plane, line L has a slope of 3 over 1, and M has a slope of minus 1/3. So, Sayhana, what would be true about those lines?
They're perpendicular.
Very good. Okay. Let's look at another one. So we have 0 minus 4. So we know that it can't be the plus 4 because they gave us the y-intercept. If the slope here is minus 4 over 1, what would be the slope by niche on our perpendicular line?
4.
1/4, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah, sorry.
go the negative reciprocal, so it would not be D, it would be C. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. So you just get the negative reciprocal. So let's try a couple in the book. You're good, Addie? Okay, so have to move the people to get the thing cleared. Okay, so we're gonna go to an easy one, 216, number 13. So we have this graph. And we want the line perpendicular. So we have to get the slope of this line. So I'm just going to do numbers that are right on the grid, 0, 6. I can see it's negative. So everybody get one, this slope is going to be -2. And so I just get the reciprocal, and they're not making me work that hard. There's only one answer that has a half in it, and it's C. Is everybody good with that one? Addie, good? Yeah, Anish? Yes, Sahana?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try another one. I know that was a little easy. Well, let's look at the next page. We haven't done any verbal stuff. So read question 14 and then pick an answer. Because you might get one with verbal. So we need a rate, and the only rate will be what? D, everybody see it's D? That the rate has to come with the M. This will be how many we had to start with. So everybody good with D for that one? In case they gave you a verbal, I want you to nail all these questions. Okay, and then couple more. 420. Number 16. Would everybody grid in 1/2? Oh, great. Sahana, you're good too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good, hon. Okay, we're gonna do one more. That was 420, number 16. See, these will all be very, I mean, you probably haven't done this stuff in a while. So we're now gonna try one last one. I don't know, I think we did this yet. 580, number 8. Everybody get 1/9? Good, Sana, good? Stay on that same page, stay on that same page for a second. Okay, we're gonna go to just down the page, number 11. We're in module 2. So we're gonna stay on 580. We're gonna go to number 11, which is a hard,
You want them to try ahead of?
yeah, I want you to try it ahead of me. This is in module 2, so it's gonna be hard.
-14, right?
This is a 15 right here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm up by this whole thing by a half.
So that was 36/19. Right here,
Okay,
and then you're gonna divide by 2.
Okay, did anybody get negative 14 over 15? This is our answer to a hard one. So the first thing we have to do is divide both sides by 2 or multiply by a half. And when I multiply by a half here, I get this. And I want there to be no solution, right?
Right.
So that means the slopes have to be equal, the y-intercepts have to be different,
Parallel lines.
parallel lines, which we've been doing. So this is negative 18 over 19. Obviously, n's going to be different. So I just need the same slope reduced, which is negative 14 over 15. So, Sehana, are you good with that one?
Yes.
Okay, Anish? Yes, and Addie, good? We just need the same slope. But we have to divide by 2 or multiply by a half. Okay, after all that workout, we're gonna go back to the packet. Okay, so I want to do some hard ones with this group just to tailor you in here. Okay. So here we have in the XY coordinate plane, line M goes through these 2 points. So I'm a little tired of dealing with moving us up here. Oh, now they're up here. Okay,
Oh, that's actually kind of better.
I know that's better. I can move us
I
everywhere.
didn't even know we could do that. That was cool.
It's almost like time travel or something, or distance travel. I'm gonna pick a number, but I'm just gonna say A is 2, because I'm a little tired of dealing with, I'll do it both ways. So we have 2, 0 and 0, 4. So that's gonna be, I'm using the slope formula. And I'm gonna get 4. And I'm gonna get a -2, which is A. If I do it the same way, algebraically, I'm still gonna get the same answer. But you could do it both ways to check your work. So we're good with that one, pretty good, either picking a number or just doing the algebra. I'm gonna assume everybody's good with that. Okay, this is probably as hard as it gets. So sometimes they give you, like we do here, we have 3K and we have K12. And so I can sort of see they both go through the origin. So the technique here, this would be a hard one, is if you have 3 points on the same line, you know the slopes are equal. So we have 3K and 0, 0. We're going to get that slope, and that's going to be equal to K12 and 0, 0. So this one will be K minus 0. I know you're sick of the slope formula already. Equals 12 minus 0. So then I have K over 3. I can cross multiply. So the important thing is to see if you get 3 points, it would be hard in a module 2, but you're gonna know this slope has to equal this slope. And so I did the work here. K over 3 has to equal the next slope. So K squared is 36. How many got 6 for that one? Eddie, good? I
What
need,
do they call that, collinear?
yeah, because they're all collinear. Yeah, sorry, I should have said that nice word. They're all collinear. We're going to do some of that in a second. So you could get a word problem related. If you get a big word problem, it's probably a slope or a system. So here we have a little raindrop that's 2 and it gets a velocity of 12.5. We have another raindrop that's 5. We get a terminal velocity of 20.6. So we're going to get the slope, which we get down here, and that's m. And then on the next page, we have to put it in to get the b. Now we have the equation for any slope in the universe, right? Any raindrop in the universe. What am I talking about? And so we would get b for an answer. I'll let you work that out. Give you a second to just be sure you got b for that one. Anisha's good with it. Eddie, you're good. The work is to go back and get the B. So let's look at this one. So if I have marbles and they're going into a cylindrical glass containing water, yeah. Again, I want to get where was there? How much? I want to get the
Y-intercept.
intercept,
Yeah.
the y-intercept. So I don't know where it is, but I know wherever it is, it has to be collinear with these 2 points. Everybody see that? I don't know where this is. This is a big question mark right now. So since they're collinear, I'll first have to get the slope of this one, right? So this slope is 6. So obviously this slope has to be 6. I could use the slope formula or just put it into, because I already have some points. So I'll put the first one in. So if the y is 74 and my slope is 6 and my x is 2, so I'm subtracting 12 and I will get 62. Sorry, it's a little messy. I can write much better on paper.
It's really hard to write on this tablet for some reason.
Yeah, everybody gets 62. You could have done, you could even look, analyze it and go, oh,
Well, you could
I
almost
go down 2 over 12.
right.
Down 2 would give me 0 and subtract 12.
You could almost just eyeball it, except for all the answer choices are clustered right around where you want to be.
Yeah. So we're good with that one, Sahana, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, good, sweetie. Okay, so now we're moving into systems. We sort of really use that a lot. So this is where we maybe could use, what's that calculator? The
Oh, Desmos.
Desmos. Is that a Greek god or something? I don't know.
No, I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Okay,
Cool calculator.
so a system of equations. So if they're intersecting lines, there's one solution. Infinitely many solutions is the same line. And we did this a lot no solutions is parallel lines. So if I just had this, Anisha, I'm just gonna give you something really quick, okay? If I have this, y equals 6x plus 12, and y equals kx plus 2, and there's no solution, what does a k have to be, Anish?
6.
Yes, you see, that's what I wanted, a fast answer. It has to be 6. Same slope, okay. Whoa. So we could graph it, substitute, or linear elimination. So let's try substitution. Whoops. So this one, we can solve for y in terms of x, put the equation in, and get out 3. So let's try an easy substitution. Oh, now I don't have my,
Oh, hold on, let me see what happened here.
I lost my,
The whiteboard's having a glitch. Oh, there it is. Well, it came back.
okay.
You know what? I think I've seen this before. I'm just gonna try shutting it down, bring it back up. Sometimes the whiteboard doesn't cooperate.
Yeah, so you can see how many questions there are on this category. We're just getting this technical.
Yeah. So
So you can sort of see if substitution is the easiest way to go.
record. All right, maybe that'll work.
Okay, thank you. Just have to load it.
I just need to sort of move it bigger.
That's okay.
No, hold on. Let me just try to. I think I gotta move them for a second. All right, there we go. Move them back. And clear it out. Yeah, sorry about that. There we go.
Okay.
Whiteboard's back.
All right, so let's go to an, so you can see right away if you're going to use substitution. So a very easy one, 572, number 5. And you're going to sort of beat me to it. So you can see right away. This is almost an insult to your intelligence, but every question counts.
And the easy questions are worth just as much as the hard questions.
Yeah. Now notice again, they're asking for x plus y. So 5 plus 8. So don't get tripped up and put in a different answer. So everybody got C13. Anisha's good. Sana, you good, honey?
Yeah.
Okay, Addie, nodding head, because I see your beautiful face today. That's good. Okay, now we're going to go back to the packet. A lot of them, about 80% of the time, are going to be set up with linear elimination. So our example here is y plus 2x is 5, y plus x is 4. So we have to subtract the first equation, then the y's will be eliminated. Or no, yeah,
Subtract the second equation. I know what you meant.
yeah. And so y will be 3, and then x, we put the x back in. We're trying to solve for y. Okay, let's look at number 1 on the next page. So pretty simple, but just to train your brain back if you've been dealing with calculus. So we can see the y's are additive inverses. They set this one up nice for us. We add these two. So x is 5. Now, if we have to rearrange this one. So this time the p's will be additive inverses. I'll get 2q is 10. So q is 5, and I might be tempted to pick c, but look what they asked for. So train your brain to circle the prompt. And so we're going to put in 5 for q, either equation. Okay. One more, though. We'll try some book problems. Okay, I have a little problem here, but if I multiply everything by a -1, what's going to happen is the b's are going to be additive inverses. This is going to change to a negative. And so the b's will be additive inverses, and I'll get 2a equals, this was a 1. So a equals 4, but they are asking me for b. So I'm going to put 4 plus b is 1. Subtract 4. Okay. So everybody good, remember that stuff from probably a long time ago.
Yeah, do some bookmark.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to try page 345, number 18.
You think most of the time it's faster to use the elimination for,
This one is set up for elimination. Could you put this in the decimals fast or
yeah,
faster?
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'd be faster, but it'd probably be about as fast. You could always check it with Desmos too, if you wanted.
It's hard to write this legibly. also gonna do 22, so take a look at that one.
Oh, okay,
For 21.
21, yeah.
Did everybody get -2a? Sahana, you good?
Yes.
Okay, Addie, you're good? Okay, we're gonna do another on that same page. See, this stuff is all over the test. We just don't want, so I want to do 345, number 21. See, this stuff is all over the test, so. So we know it has the parallel line, so it has to have a slope of 8. And it goes through the origin, so we know B is 0. And then we're gonna put in a 3 for X, that's what they asked, they're asking for 3D. So they're asking for the Y value when X is 3. Did everybody get 24? Anisha's good, Addie, you're good? Sahana, you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. See this, I just wanna really, I know I'm sort of overdoing this. Okay, now we're on the bottom of that page. If it's the same line, it's infinitely many solutions. And the best way to do that, I'm back in the packet. And we're gonna give you a break in just a little bit. We just have a little more math. Okay. So we did a lot.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, when it's infinitely many solutions, it's gonna be the same line, but you might not see it as the same line until you put it into y equals mx plus b.
Or Desmos.
Or Desmos. We've seen so many of these no solutions, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
beat
they're
that
good
anymore.
at that.
Okay, you're good at the no solutions now. So let's look at this one. We want infinite number of solutions. So that's gonna trigger your brain to same line. And so we can sort of see here, what are we multiplying everything by? Can you see we're multiplying by 3? And so 2/3 times 3 would just give us 2. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so I want to do two book problems that are very close to each other. So we could just turn to one page. So if you look at 348, I'd like you to try number 6. And then on 349, I'd like you to try number 9. These are both module 2. This one would be very easy. You could just solve it. They're hoping you don't read the prompt, I think. But we're multiplying everything by 3. So 9 times 3. Okay, so this one, yes, I could have cross multiplied, but that would take a long time. So if I fly like an eagle, that's my eagle, sorry, above the problem. I'm dividing by 6 each time here. So this will be a 7. This one I could have solved for 3 and just put it in, but a faster way is to see that I'm multiplying by 3 because I have 18 plus 3x. And so 9 times 3 is 27. So those two problems, okay. Anish, you're good. Addie, good. Sana, good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. This is really a math Peloton for sure. Okay, back to the packet. We'll try this one. I'll have you take a minute to get to the. Okay. So we want infinitely many solutions, which is going to tell us same line. That should just be a trigger in your brain. So I'm multiplying by 3 here, obviously. A little tricky, 144 times 3 is 432. That equals, and so I might be tempted for D, but 8Z equals 432. So I divide by 8 and I will get 54. Everybody good with that one? Not so bad. Just, always circle what the prompt is. Again, and so probably all of you are in higher math, and so this is like something you had a long time ago. So we want no solutions, so as fast as you can, or take your time, we want to put this equation in y equals mx plus b, and we know we want to get same slope, different y-intercepts. So did everybody get a slope of a negative 8/5, right? So the only answer that it can be is B. Everybody's good? Okay, let's try 4. Now this time they give it to us in y equals mx plus b mode, but we have to try the choices. So you could get that as a contingency. So I'm just going to try A first. So the slope, it actually turned out that A had the same slope. Everybody good with that? Okay, this one. No solution. Now, I can do the math, but an easy way to do this is, do you see this y is twice the x? So if I take 10 and divide it by 2, Does everybody see A would be 5? Because all I'm doing is no solution, so I want to get the same slope. So I doubled it here, so I divide by 2. Is everybody good with number 5? Sehana, Anisha's good.
Yes.
Okay, Addie, are you good, honey? Okay, good. Okay, now this one, like I said, I'm trying to get every problem they might give you. So we need to get A over B, which would just be 3 over 4, because I'm just looking at the coefficients. So you could put in 3/4 or 0.75. That one's not too bad, but I didn't want that question to throw you. They're just asking for A over B. Okay, this one, go ahead and try it ahead of me. Notice they're asking for 2x minus y. Okay, so we had to work with the first equation. I got rid of the x's, y was 4. Then I had to put it back in, x was 6. Again, circle the prompt because I don't want you to miss any because you got the wrong thing. So 12 minus 4 on this planet is 8. Everybody good? Addie nodding head. Anish good? Sehana good?
Yeah.
Okay, now this one, do you see this one really lends itself to substitution? So since I already have what B is, so sometimes it'll be this, but sometimes it'll be this. So everybody good with A is 2? I just 5/2, I just changed it to 2.5. So Addie, you're good. Sehana, you're good?
Yeah.
Okay, good, sweetie. So let's look at this one now. When you get a word problem, I don't like to use variables like X and Y because you would forget who is what. So I like to use their initials. So let's take this sentence and put it into a math situation. Tom plus K have $90 in stock. Then the next equation, twice Tom's equals 30 more than K. I'm trying to get Keith's stock, the K. So I'm just gonna subtract a K from both sides. These will be additive inverses. So I'll get 3 of Tom's stock is 120. So Tom has 40, and I might be tempted to go there, but I'm just to get you ready to caution you. I want Keith's stock, which will be 50. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. So you're ready for a verbal problem if you get one. So we're good with that one, Sehana?
Yes.
Okay, Anish, good. Addie, good. You guys are so intelligent. Okay, now, this next one, we're gonna do it, but I don't think you'll get one this hard. Okay? So first, I'm gonna simplify this. So this would probably be 2, wouldn't you think, Jim?
Yeah, it's doable. I think the hard part about this one is realizing that you still are gonna leave it in terms of X and Y, but it's.
Okay,
it's
so we
hard.
have A equals 2x minus 9. And B, I'm just gonna do as 2y minus 9. So I could add 9 to each of these and it's not gonna change. Okay,
Wait. What do you mean?
because I have a minus 9 and a minus 9, so I could just add 9 to both equations.
Not without adding it to that side. What are you saying exactly?
This one has a negative 9, this one has a negative 9. So I'm just gonna add 9 to both equations. Now A equals B minus 1/4. Whoops. Okay, so now I'm gonna have, I'm gonna subtract the b's out of there. So I'll have negative 1/4 equals 2x minus 2y. Last step, I'm gonna divide everything by 2. So and I multiply this by 1/2. So minus 1/8 equals x minus y. So I'll just add y to both sides. Y minus 1/8 equals x. So that's A. I don't think you'll see one like that, but you sort of get it. Anish, you're good. Sahana, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Addie, you're good. This is for people going to MIT. Okay, now this is easier. So you have, so scatter plots, this is obviously linear positive, this is linear negative, exponential positive, exponential negative. Okay, so a line of best fit has to meet 2 conditions. You'll probably get one like a line of best fit. The same slope and the same points above and below. So here we have cell phone. The screen height and width of 6 different cellular phones or tablets are shown on the scatter plot above in pixels. So what is the height in pixels of the device that's furthest from the line of best fit? So the line of best fit would be somewhere here, and obviously the outlier is here, and I have to get the height of the outlier, which would be close to 1300, which would be 1280. And so you can see here, we did the example. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do some in the book, but first let's do this one. So the more hours you spend fishing, the more fish you catch. And I always tell people I lived by Lake Chautauqua, and it was 100 hours to catch one muskellunge, and I would not do that. So we have to sort of draw in the line of best fit. And so you're not going to get it exact, but sort of best we can. Okay, so I look for crosshairs, and I have crosshairs right here at 26.8. So this has a slope of 1, they're telling us that. So I'm just gonna go back to my good old mx plus b, which is your standby, so y is gonna be 8. The slope is 1. And so that'll be 8 equals 26 plus b. And subtracting 26 minus 8, I get a negative 18. We're almost done with math, guys. I promised you a break. Okay, so let's try some book ones. Just 3. So let's go to 498, number 18. This one is sort of an insult to your intelligence. We just want you to go to X is 25 and go up, and you're going to the line of best fit. And so at 25.5, which is, we can look up and see it's going to be a little over 8. Did everybody get sort of 8.2? You're just going to take 25 and then go over halfway and go up there. And they know you can't get it exact. But everybody see it's 8.2? Okay. So I want to try another one. That was 498. So let's go to 505, number 15. So you could almost just analyze this one. Okay, so I know I have a negative line. So I know the only negative slope is B. And C too, Jim, I can't see.
B with a positive y-intercept around.
Yeah,
10.
so it has to be B because we have a negative line. And then we have a positive y-intercept, which looks like a little bit above 10. Did everybody see B as the answer for that one? Okay, that's not so bad. And one more, and then we'll put that to bed. So we want to go to 578, number 3. Again, you can sort of see just analyzing this. Oh, I see another one we can do. So it's going to be positive y-intercept, like a little over 13, with a negative slope. So the only answer for this one is B. We're good with that? You don't even really have to calculate the slope or anything. But let's go to the next page and let's try 4. So this stuff is like 10 questions on every test. So we're gonna have to get the slope. So I know the slope,
Yeah, -7/8, that's right. I just put in,
3 for X.
no, I put in, we don't know for
Oh.
XD, and then 4 for the Y.
So what's our B, just 0?
No, +7.
And how do we get that?
That's the Y-intercept.
Oh, they gave us the y-intercept,
Well,
yeah,
I'll just read it off the graph.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, so we subtract the 7. Multiply by the reciprocal. I guess you all beat me. You got it, Addie?
C for that one? It turned your C to
Oh.
0. I hate when it does that.
Yeah, sorry. So Addie, you're good with C? The y-intercept, the B was 7, and we were supposed to get that off the graph. Anish, you're good? So Anish, you're good, just nodding head.
Or if you have a question, let us know.
Sehani, you're good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Everyone's good?
yeah. Okie dokie, so let's go on, we're almost done. Okay, we're on to page 21. We only have a couple pages and then you get a break. Whew. Cause like I said, there's so many questions from this section. So here we have whole milk. The scatter plot above shows the amount of whole milk consumed in gallons per capita each year. So we're trying to get the decrease, but we don't have to worry about the negative sign because they said decrease. So we need 2 points and they know, but we're going by the line of best fit, not
Not the points.
the points. So that's careful. So I'm looking at 2,000. It looks like only about 5 people. Or every person's drinking about 5 gallons of whole milk.
You don't have to get it exact. It'll be
Yeah.
close enough.
And in 1950, I guess we'll go with a little over, I don't know,
33 maybe, I don't know.
34, 33.
See how close it gets.
Yeah, so now we're gonna use the slope formula. That's all we need to do. I'm just gonna do 50 minus 100. 28 over 50, so a little over half. So it has to be B. Good with that one? Okay, I'm telling you, your perseverance is wonderful. 2 more pages real quick. So you know how to list quadrants. Let's look at this example. In the XY coordinate plane above, line L not shown. So it has 0, 4. So I put it on the graph and I draw the line. And it, because it's only in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2. So my question is, a horizontal line has what slope value? Anybody can yell it out. What's the slope of that line? Sehana, do you know?
Slope of a horizontal line?
Yeah,
0.
yes. So if the slope of the line is 0, right? What's a vertical line? It's going to be what? Undefined.
Undefined.
Good job. You guys are awesome. Okay, let's go to the next page. Whoa. So you probably did this in middle school and you used colored pencils. So a system of inequalities, y is bigger than x. Do you remember doing this? Probably with colored pencils, and you won't have colored pencils on the test, but
you do.
I do, yeah. So I might as well take advantage of it. Okay. So y is bigger than x and y is less than this value. And so which section would have all the solutions? Everybody see it would be B. And last page, yay. We have done a lot of slopes tonight. Okay, so our last page. In the systems of inequalities, so this time we have to draw our own lines. So we're going to go to a -1 and then just go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And I'm going to draw that line. And then y is less than x minus 5. So I go down -5, up 1 over 1. And so here it is. And so,
And you're less than both of those lines.
yeah, I have to be less than both of those lines. And so it'll be, whoops. It'll be down here and there will be nothing in quadrant 2, right? Last problem. Okay, try this one on your own. So y is less than -x.
So what's red and blue? Is that purple, I guess?
Yeah, it's like the states, they're turning purple.
It's turning purple.
Okay. All right, so it's 7:32. We want to give you like what?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
7:40?
Yeah, so yeah, take a break back at, well, yeah, back at 7:40 is fine.
Okay. Take a break, guys. Get a snack, use the restroom. Good job.
Okay, so it's 7:40, so we should be back from break. Hopefully you have a snack or a beverage or whatever, and we're gonna find this packet. All right, I'll just wait for everyone to get back from break. All right. Okay. Everyone back? I could see, I think I could see everybody except for Sahana. Are you back?
Yes.
Okay, great. So everyone has this packet. So we're going to talk about 7 common app essays for the English portion for today. So there used to be an SAT essay, but they eliminated it like a year or two ago. So you don't have to worry about that anymore, which is nice. But this is an essay that you may end up writing. It's an admissions essay. So I'm just gonna briefly talk about, why they put an essay in part of the admission process. It's not every school really cares about the essay, but certain schools, if they care about the admission essay, it seems like they really care about it. So the Common App is just one application that allows you to apply to over 900 colleges and universities. So almost half of the universities in the US will accept the Common App. And so we'll talk about, there's 7 prompts on the Common App that you can select, from which you can select if you're going to write the essay. So I'm just going to talk about some of the prompts, which one maybe would be a good one for you to pick. All right, so let's open up the packet. All right, so why an essay? So in the admission office, the counselors that look at the applications, they're primarily going to rely on your transcript. So they'll look at they'll look at your GPA, they'll look at your class rank. They'll even look at your SAT or ACT score if you submit a score. And all of these things paint a quantitative picture of who you are as a candidate, but it really doesn't give them much qualitative information. So yeah, they can look at these scores and realize, okay, this is a bright individual, but it really doesn't tell them much about what matters to you. Sort of, is this a moral individual? Does this person have the type of character traits that we have that are best represented by our institution? That's sort of what they're looking at with an essay. So who are you as an individual? What are your personal values or beliefs? Do they align with those of this institution? And scores really can't tell you much about that type of information, which is one of the reasons why they ask for a writing sample sometimes. It's gonna depend on the school. Yeah. So before they invest in you, they're going to make their selection. They're going to decide who they want in the freshman class. And there's going to be limited capacity in the freshman class. So they may look at a writing sample. They might want to see, okay, well, can this individual write? That's one thing they're looking for. Is he or she a good writer? But they also sort of want to know, what are your values? Are you similar to us? Do you have the positive character traits that we have as an organization? Sort of like a cultural value. Okay, so the admission process has always sort of looked like this for over 80 years. So they always look at a pool of candidates and then they select from that pool. And this is just one more way they can sort of decide, okay, who do we want to select? Because you don't want to bring everyone into your university or college, because that's actually going to bring the quality of your institution down if you just let anybody in. So they can afford to be picky, and the more selective, the sort of the higher caliber of the institution, the more selective they can be. I'm talking about Ivy League or some of the top schools. They can be really picky about who they let in, and this is just one way that they decide, okay, who gets in and who doesn't get in. But we're going to talk just about this Common App. Some schools have their own admission essay or essays, plural, but we're going to talk about the Common App ones. The ones that particular schools have, they sort of are similar to these. They are going to be your personal statement. They're just a writing sample. And even though their questions may be slightly different, they're not too far off from these 7. So we just figured we'd talk about these 7. You may end up writing one of these. Then again, you may not. So when you go into the Common App, you can look at the schools and you can see if they require, recommend, or neither require nor recommend an essay. So you can figure that out. Yeah, so certain schools have their own applications and their own essays, but we're just going to focus on the Common App for today. You may end up writing one of these. You may, then again, you may not. It sort of depends on the school that you want to apply to. Some schools don't really care so much about an essay. Other schools, it seems to be that they care highly about it, and you might end up writing an essay, but it's not a big deal. If you have to write an essay, it's not the end of the world. We're just going to talk about some strategies for writing the essay. So it's sort of your chance to shine and demonstrate what is important to you. Which values or character traits best define you as a person? Is helping your local community important? Is leaving the world in a better state than you found it important? Basically, this is sort of the assignment right here. Can you establish a claim about yourself? You're going to support it with evidence from your own life and express yourself clearly within the conventions of standard written English. And of course you can. You've written so many essays in school at this point. It might feel a little strange to be supporting a claim with evidence from your own life, but you've done this before. I mean, typically you're writing an essay, you'll come up with a thesis, and you will for this assignment as well. But typically when you're writing an essay, you create a thesis. That's merely what you're trying to prove with your essay. And then you gather evidence. So if maybe you're writing about The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. So you would just find some quotes from this novel that support your thesis, and you throw your quotes right into the essay, wrap it up with a conclusion, make sure you had an introduction, and that's a typical essay. In this case, you're going to be writing about yourself, and you're going to be supporting the claims you're making about yourself with evidence from your own life. So it may seem a little more informal than you're used to because you're writing about yourself, but still you want your essay to be fairly formal. I think of this, it's very similar. It fulfills the same function as a cover letter does to your resume. Just a writing sample, sort of. Okay, so you have every resource you need to perform this task because you know more about yourself than anyone. You have become familiar with yourself over the past dozen years, and you can self-evaluate at this point. You've written so many essays in school, so you are used to supporting claims with evidence. This is a similar task, although you'll be writing about yourself. So even if this task feels a little unfamiliar, the subject most certainly is not. You know more about yourself than anyone. Actually, no one else could perform this assignment except, but you. All right, so the colleges use a variety of information when they're making their selection. They'll look at the courses you took. They'll see how many AP courses you took. They'll look at your transcript. They'll look at your class rank. They'll look at your GPA. They'll look at your SAT or ACT score if you submit those scores. And they'll look at your letters of recommendation. Typically, it seems that they want maybe 2 letters of recommendation. So you'll probably be collecting those in the coming months. Just find teachers that you trust, teachers that you like, because usually you're not really going to be submitting the letter of recommendation. Usually the person you asked to submit it submits it. And they sort of have rules about this too, I've noticed. Sometimes they want sometimes they want letters of recommendation from your actual teachers, and sometimes they'll permit you to have just what we would call a character reference, maybe a letter from a family friend, or I don't know, a member of the clergy, whatever. Someone's going to write a letter of recommendation for you, but sometimes they specifically want one from a teacher or from guidance. You'll get one from your guidance counselor, someone who knows you at the school. It sort of depends on the school, I've noticed, but I've written some of these letters of recommendation for people over the years. Yeah, so you'll be collecting those as well. I just wanted to mention those because you'll probably be scrambling in the coming months, asking your teachers. Ask teachers that you like and trust, and sort of ones that you know would be good writers, because it's going to be a written letter. Okay, so colleges can afford to be selective. They sort of have the upper hand when it comes to this because just so many people are applying to school, every year. So the more prestige that is associated with the college, the more choosy they can be, really just because that degree will be worth more in your professional life. So that's sort of why a degree from a top tier school, it can be a significant increase in your salary over time, really. So not all colleges require an essay, but applicants can see the requirements for all schools when they log into the Common App. I just wanted to ask you guys real quickly in here. Have any of you been on the Common App at all? Have you looked at this at all? I'm seeing some nodding heads, maybe. So if you haven't been on it yet, you probably will in the coming months. It's really just a nice tool for you. It allows you to apply to over 900 schools with one application. So it's great for you. The schools love it too because it makes the job easier for them. I just realized that it still says Chris Hessler under my name. Oh well, whatever. I'm not even going to bother to change it right now. Anyway, so the Common App just allows you to apply to so many schools. That's why you should probably be on this with one application. So many schools have their own applications, and you'll have to look at the those on a case by case basis. And sometimes an individual school's application will want an essay or essays plural. I was helping someone the other day with just sort of brainstorming for an essay, and she wanted to apply to UNC, and I think she ended up writing 2 essays. So I mean, it wasn't the Common App, but they still had essays of their own. And the prompts, they'll have their own prompts sometimes, but we're going to go over 7 essay prompts that are on the Common App. All right, so the essay allows the schools to differentiate among top, medium, and borderline candidates. I think that's an important statement here. And that's sort of why they use the essay. So what happens if maybe they get 2 applications from 2 individuals and they have similar GPAs, and let's say maybe they both got a 1350 on the SAT. How do they differentiate between these 2 people at this point? Well, they'll start looking at these other elements of the application, including the essay. Maybe they'll decide, okay, let's pick the person who is the better writer. And so they'll read the essay if they're trying to differentiate between 2 candidates. And I will say that if they're even reading your essay and you submit one, that's good news. That means that they like you. So they don't have time to read everyone's essay. So if I'm looking at your application, I can look at your GPA, class rank, and SAT score. I can look at those in a matter of seconds. If I'm looking at the essay, that's going to take minutes. So if they're even reading your essay at all, it means that they like you. It means that they want you in their program. So that's really good news for you. If they're even reading it at all, it means they already want you. So we'll just talk about how you can write an effective essay for this assignment. And if they require an essay, everyone is writing this essay. So if the school requires an essay, just think, it's not the end of the world. Everyone has to do this. So we'll just talk about some strategies that will lead to an effective essay, and maybe some sort of traps or just pitfalls, things you could avoid with this assignment. So colleges use essays because the quality of your writing is important. Essays matter. And not all schools really want an essay. So just to give you an example, I graduated from Penn State, and for my admission application, I didn't have to submit an essay. I just didn't. It wasn't a problem. I wrote plenty of essays at Penn State as an English major. That was my main job. But as far as admission was concerned, I just sent all this other information over. And I sent some letters of recommendation. I definitely remember getting those. But it's sort of going to depend on the school. Some schools seem to care about this. Other schools, they mostly want to look at your grades. They mostly want to look at your SAT score. They'll probably look at your letters of recommendation. But some schools care about this, some, less so. So it's going to depend on the school. But I did want to cover this just because it is on the Common App, and this application allows you to apply to so many schools. So that's sort of why. So the Common App essay will be your personal statement. It is also the college's opportunity to better get to know you as a person. Essays allow the colleges to judge the depth of your understanding of social issues. And at this point in your life, you should have developed an individual perspective of important world or local issues. You should also be able to self-evaluate. This is a hallmark of higher learning, creativity. You will use your creative side to craft an intimate portrait of yourself. Who are you at this moment in time? It'll just be a snapshot of you, the candidate. All right. So you can think of this as similar to a cover letter. So it'll be pretty formal. The style of your essay will be formal, but maybe less formal than you are used to, because the I pronoun will dominate your essay. You're going to explain things that actually happened to you. You're going to, just provide some evidence from your own life to support your claim. So the I pronoun will be all over your essay, but it still should be pretty formal. You are trying to make this a formal submission. So it may feel strange to open up and candidly reveal aspects of your own life to complete strangers, but just don't worry about it. Just think, okay, you know what? Everyone has to do this. It's not the end of the world. So you control the narrative, and authenticity is the most important thing that we're going for with this assignment. Does this sound like the candidate? Does this sound like a real person? So it should sound like a high school student produced this. If it sounds like AI wrote it, or if it sounds like a parent wrote it, they're not going to consider you. They'll disregard your application. They'll probably pick someone else. So make sure you don't plagiarize anything. If they think mommy or daddy wrote the essay, they're just going to write DDI on top of it. It stands for daddy did it. Or if they think an AI did it, they're not going to take it seriously. And you wouldn't want an AI to write your personal statement anyway. The computer's going to know nothing about you. So it's not going to sound authentic. It will sound like someone else wrote it or a machine wrote it. And they don't even have to prove that you plagiarized. They just have to suspect plagiarism, and they'll pick someone else. So just make sure you don't fall for any of those traps. I've talked to these admission counselors, and now they have to deal with a whole another circumstance with regard to AI. They probably read AI essays every day. Every day they're picking candidates, and they say to themselves, man, I really like this guy. I really want this person in our program. And then they'll start reading the essay and they'll say, oh man, this is AI, isn't it? And it's not hard to tell, really. If you've read some things that ChatGPT or anything else have produced, they're pretty bad. I would say that this technology is very much in its infancy, and AI can't do what humans do. It's not at this level. So it's not going to sound like a person wrote it. And don't have anyone else write your personal statement. It's not going to have your voice. So you have a particular voice, and your voice as a high school student is going to be different than a parent's voice. It's not going to sound like your voice is going to be unique and separate from the voice of a middle-aged person, if that makes sense. You have a particular voice. So they're looking for that. They're looking for authenticity. Does this sound like a real person? That's probably the number one thing. Does this sound like the candidate? Does this truly represent he or she? Okay, so it's okay to just remember that it's okay to open up about yourself to complete strangers. Everyone has to do this assignment if they require the essay. Just remember, you control the narrative. You're the one in charge. You're telling the story, a true story about yourself and something that happened to you. So authenticity is what they're looking for. If your essay seems to lack individuality and just appears to be a generic response with no conviction behind it, this will diminish your chances. So you want to take this assignment seriously. If they require the essay, they will read the essay. That means that they already like you. They're already seriously considering you. If you're not a serious candidate, they're not going to bother to read your essay, but you probably were already disqualified by something else in your application. But if they care about the essay, they will read it. So don't think that, oh, they're never going to read this and just submit something that took you 10 minutes. Spend some time on this. If the school cares about the essay, this is one of the top things that they're looking at. They're definitely looking at your GPA. Absolutely. They're definitely going to look at your SAT or ACT score if you submit those types of score. But if they care about the essay and if they're looking for one, this will be like the third thing that they look at and seriously consider. Okay, so there is a word length limit for the Common App essay. It's 650 words, and that's not very long at all. That's about a page, maybe a page and a half, depending on the typeface. So it's pretty short. I mean, that's going to be, I imagine that's 4 or 5 paragraphs, maybe 6 paragraphs tops. This is not a long assignment. 650 words isn't a huge word length. So you're going to start writing a longer essay. I probably want you to shoot for maybe around 1,000 words, maybe even around double the word limit, because you're going to cut it down. You're going to find, okay, this paragraph really isn't doing much for my essay. I could safely remove this. I probably should remove this paragraph. And once you trim it down a little bit, it's going to start to take its final shape. And by that point, it will be around 650 words. So there is a word limit. I just want to mention that. So you'll cut the chaff and you'll be left with a stunning personal statement. It just screams, pick me. That's what we want. Don't pick that other person, pick me. I am the ideal candidate here. Not her, me, not him, me. I'm the right one here. All right, so this is something you control. You control this narrative. You want your writing to be interesting, even entertaining. It can even be a little bit funny, but just avoid becoming overly chummy with those people who are reading your essay. They have great power, right? They have power to deny your application for any number of reasons. So they may not get your particular brand of humor, and that's something that you might want to just think about. They're taking this assignment seriously. Your writing should be relatively formal for this task. So avoid slang in your essay. I would just avoid any kind of slang, any kind of non-standard English. It doesn't belong here, right? Just think standard written English. They have something that they're looking for, and they will grade your essay. They will give it a grade. So just be aware of that. And I'll talk a little bit about what type of rubric they may use, how they may grade it later. Later on, we'll get to that. But it's going to be similar to how your teachers have been grading your essays in school. So, I mean, when we talk about a potential rubric here for the essay, it's not going to be anything too surprising. So avoid slang and just be careful if you are trying to write a humorous essay, just be careful. They may not get your particular brand of humor. Sarcasm famously does not translate well to the printed word. They may take you at face value, and they may just say to themselves, look, this person doesn't want in our program. Like, I can see it right here. And you may think, oh, I was being quite clever with that sarcastic comment, but they're taking this assignment seriously. So they're not really looking for a sarcastic response. So I just wanted to get that out of the way because, I mean, people have different brands, different types of humor. Everyone is unique. Just be careful. You do want your essay to be entertaining. The worst thing you can do is bore them. You never want to bore your audience. If they find it boring, or if they find it very similar to the other, million essays that they get, not very interesting, not well thought out, you didn't analyze the prompt, they're probably going to disregard it. They'll look for someone else if they care about the writing sample. And that's going to vary from school to school. All right, so you do want it to be entertaining. Just be careful when it comes to humor, especially with regard to sarcasm. They're probably not going to get sarcasm. It just doesn't translate well in print. They'll take it literally. They'll think, hey, this person doesn't want, why did they submit an application? They don't want to come here, All right, so be careful with that. Spelling counts, grammar counts, everything counts. So this is something you prepare in advance. This is not a timed assignment. I'm going to go over the 7 prompts, but you're going to write this in advance. You can use a word processor. You can use spell check. So there should be no spelling answers in your submission. Really, there just shouldn't be. There should be no grammar errors in your submission. You're going to fix all that up through the writing process. So spelling counts, grammar counts, everything counts. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Common App. just because this allows you to apply to over 900 schools. This is a great tool for you with the college application process. All right, so the Common App was created in the 70s at Vassar. It is designed to make the college admission process simpler for the colleges, and it makes it easier for you, the applicant. So over 900 schools accept the Common App. Not every school, but that's almost half of the schools out there. So a lot of them take the Common App. Top schools, it might surprise you. Some names you wouldn't think they accept the Common App. Top tier schools, not all of them, but many of them take the Common App. So if you're looking at a particular school, they may just see what their application looks like, or see if they accept the Common App. Not everyone does. All right, so it allows you to apply to so many schools with a single application. This makes your life easier. It really does. You can write one essay and then just sort of, maybe write one or two essays on Common App prompts, and then you might be good as far as essay is concerned. Some schools have their own essay prompts. Some schools want multiple essays submitted. So it sort of depends on the school. So one thing that's important to note, the Common App has always included an essay. All right, so choosing an essay prompt. It is important to consider the variety of options you have with regard to prompt choice. So just as not all essays are created equally, all the essay prompts are not either. I think that there's sort of trying to overwhelm you with options by giving you 7 prompts from which to choose. You have a lot of choices here, but not all of the prompts are created equally. I will say that some of them are more advanced and would probably be suited better to a more advanced writer. And then some of the essay prompts I think are more accessible. They'd be a great choice for anyone. And I'll sort of talk about which prompts I think are more accessible, which ones are less accessible, and why. So it's an art. Writing is an art. So not all writers are created equally. Some people are more skilled at writing essays than others. But we'll just talk about some good strategies for this assignment. Okay, so don't be overwhelmed by all the choices. I'll talk about we'll go through all the prompts and just sort of decide, okay, does this sound like me? Would this be a good prompt for me? This might be a better prompt for someone else, in which case you'll just find a different prompt. So it's going to depend on your own personal situation, and actually it's also going to depend on your area of study, which prompt you select. So it doesn't matter. I want to underline this just because it's so important. You want to select the prompt that is most suitable for you. It doesn't matter which prompt you select, as long as it's one that allows you to provide insight into your identity in ways that aren't reflected in other parts of your application. That's why some of these schools want an essay. Because, I mean, your grade point average in your SAT score, that only tells me part of the story. It only tells me it tells me what you're capable of with regard to a class or a standardized test, but it doesn't really tell me what's important to you as an individual. So that's sort of why some of these schools want to look at essays. Your ability as a writer will play a part in which prompt you select. We consider certain prompts to be advanced and best left for advanced writers, and others are more accessible. All right, so I'm going to read the prompts now. And just start thinking about, okay, does this sound like me? Would this be a good prompt for me? You may end up writing one of these. Then again, you may not. It's going to depend on which school which schools you apply to. But I'm going to read prompt number 1 here. I'm just going to go through them. All right, here's the first prompt. Some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. The lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? Reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? Reflect on something that someone has done for you that has made you happy or thankful in a surprising way. How has this gratitude affected or motivated you? Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself or others. Describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? There's a grammatical error in the prompt. I apologize. To what or whom do you turn when you wish to learn more? Okay, and then the last one, share an essay on any topic of your choice. It can be one you've already written, one that responds to a different prompt, or one of your own design. So those are the prompts. We're just going to start discussing them and sort of pick, but there's a huge variety right here, right? So we give some options. And look at number 7. I was sort of saying that they're trying to overwhelm you with options. And then look at number 7. Just choose any essay on any topic you want, ever. It's very open-ended. That's the open-ended prompt. So you have a lot of options here. You can submit some other prompt, and we'll talk about some. I mean, it might be a good idea. It depends on your situation, but you might want to do a write-in prompt. All right, so let's start with the talent or interest prompt. In this, to me, it sounds like this is a particular type of candidate. I'm thinking of someone who's talented or skilled at something. This would be a great prompt for an athlete, or maybe depending on the interest, maybe it's something that you want to study. Maybe you want to become an art major. You've been drawing your whole life. You've been taking art lessons your whole life. That's your talent. You're a talented artist. This would be a great one for that type of person. Yeah, it sort of depends on you. If this sounds like you, this might be a good choice for you. So this could be a tempting prompt. It sort of is going to depend on your particular situation. I think whatever this background, identity, interest, or talent is, this is probably something you would be doing at or for the school, if that makes sense. So maybe you're an athlete, or maybe you know that, okay, I want to major in chemistry, but I play the clarinet and I want to be in the blue band, and you could probably get in. Write this one. This would be a great prompt for you, but this isn't going to be a great prompt for everybody. I think that you sort of have to tie this to a potential major or something you would be doing at or for the school. Because why are we talking about this talent or interest? If it's something, it's going to sound, maybe mundane or lackluster. If you're artificially inflating this talent or interest that you have in a way that seems unnatural, I wouldn't maybe mention it. This is probably something that you'd be doing at or for the school. But this could be a great prompt for you. It's just going to depend. So maybe you've been studying dance your whole life. You've been doing dance competitions since you were little. And you want a degree in the arts. You want to study dance at the university. And you're going to major in it. This would be a great choice for you. It really would. And your years of formal study will come across in your writing sample, or that example I mentioned earlier about a fictional artist. Maybe you're an artist and you love drawing, you love painting, and you're going to submit your portfolio anyway. You're going to submit your artwork to the school in that case if you're going for the arts. So this is almost your, what am I going to say this is? I'm trying to say that this is almost an artist statement in that case. Why is art important to me is sort of the question you would have here. Why art? What is important about art? Why does art matter? Why does art matter to me? So this would be, I mean, they may ask for an artist statement anyway, but this sounds like this is an artist statement in a nutshell when you're talking about why art is important to you. So it's going to depend on what you want to study. All right, so let's see. Oh, I did want to mention this because we have some athletes. We have a physical class that we do on Sundays, and we have athletes in it, I know. So I just did want to mention that if you are going to play Division I or II athletics, they just have a sliding scale with regard to eligibility. So basically, lower GPAs need to be offset by higher SAT scores and vice versa. But this would be a great prompt for an athlete. So just, if you're going to play a sport, this would be a perfect one for an athlete. Okay, so just be aware there's a sliding scale though for athletics. So a hindrance of this prompt is you may deviate and interpret the background, identity, interest, or talent to be the subject of the essay when it should be you who is the subject of this essay. So it would be entirely possible, maybe you're a musician, you want to study music education at Pitt. It's entirely possible to write an essay about music that is not personal in any way. Similar to if I typed the words music theory into Wikipedia, it's not going to tell me much about why music matters to you. What does music mean for me? It's just going to tell me that music is a collection of notes and there's a melody and there's harmony. It's not going to be a personal statement. We want something that is personal. I just want to, and this is going to apply to a few of these prompts, actually. It's entirely possible to write about the subject in a way that is not personal, but this is your personal statement. They want to know why it matters to you. So I did want to mention that. All right, so this prompt may be best left to applicants who have some kind of uncommon path in life, especially the talent, background, identity portion of this question. If it's an interest of yours and you want to study it, if you want to major in math, or if you want to major in this, you find it interesting, that's it could be a good choice for you. But this is probably something that you're doing at or for the school. And your skill as a writer plays a part, because you're trying to breathe life into your background, identity, interest, or talent in a way that is relatable and engaging. So that's the first one. The next one, I've sort of been calling this one the Rocky prompt, or the underdog prompt. The lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? So this is probably our favorite prompt of the 7. So for most people, this is a great prompt to select. Why is this a good prompt? Because challenges are universal. Challenges and setbacks are universal. We've all experienced challenges. And what did you do? What happened? Just relate a story from your own personal life. How did this challenge motivate you when you were challenged? Did you end up succeeding? Did you give up? What happened? What type of person are you? So that's sort of what they're looking for here. This prompt allows you to play the protagonist, the main character, in a true story about yourself. And you can show them how you surmounted some obstacle to achieve your goal. So if I'm the admission counselor, if I'm reading these essays and I'm trying to decide who to select and who will be successful in college, if it looks like you turn serious or otherwise insurmountable obstacles into nothing, I will be impressed. Absolutely. They're looking for people who can do this, people who can overcome some kind of difficulty. Challenges, setbacks, and failures, these are all universal. Everyone has experienced some kind of challenge, some kind of setback, some kind of failure. You have experienced them by now. Absolutely. Everyone has experienced some kind of challenge, setback, or failure. I will say this. It's these challenges that sort of build our character. If you've never felt challenged or had to experience some kind of failure, you probably have been coddled or somehow insulated from these harsher realities of life. Yeah, we wouldn't really know much about ourselves if we never experienced some challenges. It's these negative moments in our lives that motivate us and build our characters, right? They create who we are. So how did you overcome your challenge? What did you do? Tell me about it. Tell me about it in 650 words. So maybe you encountered a setback with school, maybe in a sport, maybe at work, maybe with your job. Tell me about it. So small hurdles can become more difficult as they compound in number, but even hopeless barriers can be overcome with the right friendly guidance or personal breakthrough. And the nuance of your personal life adds credibility to the story. All right, I'm going to keep moving just to try to get through these prompts. Such a good prompt. Everyone has experienced a challenge. Tell me about it. All right, this next one I've just been calling the Galileo prompt, just because this kind of sounds like Galileo. Reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? Okay, so Galileo, famously challenged this idea of geocentricity. Is the Earth the center of the solar system? No, of course not. The sun is, but nobody knew that. He was the only scientist, maybe in the world, who thought this seriously. He proved it mathematically, actually. So this sounds like Galileo to me. He's challenging this idea of geocentricity. He was right. Everyone else was wrong. All the other scientists were wrong. So, I mean, this could be a good prompt, but I would consider this to be advanced. I'm just going to make a note of that. It's advanced in that we are not all Galileo, but also, why have they written this in the negative? Notice the prompt itself contains a negative. Notice that they're not asking you the question, okay, tell me about that time when you helped those people and you helped your community. What happened? They're asking you, tell me about a time when you questioned or challenged someone. It's worded in the negative, and I think that's intentional. They're intentionally trying to elicit maybe a negative response. A certain number of people will self-select with this assignment. They'll write a negative essay, and you gave them a platform. You'll tell you something you really didn't want to know. I'm telling you. So I think that they are trying to elicit a rebellious quality with this question. It's sort of built into the question here. It could be done by an advanced writer, and you may have a perfect situation of when you challenged or questioned somebody. But I think that they're trying to elicit a rebelliousness with the very question itself, with this negative wording. And you may have a good response for this, but all right. So the risk of the Galileo prompt, if that's what we're calling it, is that you may appear too confrontational or anti-establishment in your response. Remember, these college counselors, they want to preserve the institution. They like the institution. So if your rebellious character trait, that's your defining trait. I mean, it sort of depends on you. I think that they're purposely wording this in the negative. A general negativity or pessimism may pervade your essay. Just as long as you're not doing that, you could pick this prompt. I'm not saying don't select this prompt. I'm just calling it advanced. And I think that they've sort of built this into the prompt. So just be careful with it. It's an okay prompt. It's just, I think that that's part of the question here. I think that they're trying to elicit a rebellious response from certain individuals, and then they may disregard those negative essays. All right, the gratitude prompt. So this one's kind of interesting. Note that this prompt allows you to highlight your gratitude, not immediately your generosity. Kind of weird, right? So I have to come up with a scenario. I've already told you that they want to know about you. They want to know who you are as the candidate. They want to know what's important to you, what matters to you. Now I have to start talking about someone else. And I have to make this essay about me. I have to start talking about the giver, whoever gave me something, and I have to work it back to my personal situation. And now I have to make the argument that I have become a more generous person in return because of this gift I've received. So that could lead to convoluted writing. I would consider this to be advanced. So the essay is supposed to be about you, but now I don't get to talk immediately about myself. I have to start talking about someone else, and then I have to make it about me. So we value gift giving as a society. Anthropologists have documented gift giving in every human society. In ancient Greece, it was customary to give gifts to travelers in the road, just in case they were actually gods in disguise. So gift giving pervades all aspects of society. So from that small gratuity on a check all the way to a wedding present. Maybe you bought them a blender. I don't know. Gift giving is everywhere in society, but it is complicated. We know when people are giving things away in order to perhaps look better than they actually are. So people give away whole fortunes. Philanthropists give away millions of dollars. And a cynical person, I'm not saying I'm a cynic, but someone could say, oh, Bill Gates, he has so much money at this point. He has more money than he'll ever need. What does he care? Why would he need to keep all of it? He's giving money away so that he looks better than he actually is. He's giving this money away so that he gets his name in the paper. That's what a cynic would say. It sort of depends on the situation, but it's complicated. Gift giving is complicated. But this prompt allows you to immediately highlight your gratitude, not your generosity. You would then have to make the argument that, okay, now I've become a more generous person as a result. Now I've been volunteering my time to help others because I received this gift. I was helped, and someone gave me the gift of their time, and now I've learned that I have to help others. I mean, you could swing this. I'm not saying that it's not a good prompt. It's just it's interesting that I have to start talking about someone else and then somehow make this about me. It's a little complicated. So that's sort of why I consider it to be advanced. Okay, so whose story is this? Is this the story of a rich parent with deep pockets, or is this my story? I'm just sort of giving you ideas about what to avoid. All right, I'm going to keep moving just because we're running out of time here. Personal growth prompt. So discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself or others. I've been calling this the Eureka prompt. So everything kind of hinges on picking this Eureka moment. What was this accomplishment, event, or realization? So maybe you won, back to my fictional examples, maybe you won a dance contest, and this accomplishment, following this, you knew you were set. You were going to study dance at the university, or maybe it was a math competition you were involved in that motivated you. It could be any kind of event or realization, something that sparked a period of growth within you. I would consider this to be an advanced prompt in that everything sort of hinges on this moment. What was the Eureka moment? And you have to breathe life into it. It has to sound believable. If it sounds sort of inflated, then it's, this is probably not a great prompt. But as long as it is credible, as long as I believe this realization, this motivation, then sure. But I think this may be a little bit advanced. I'm going to keep going just in the interest of time here. Captivating subject prompt. Discuss a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. This is similar to the first prompt. I think that this topic, idea, or concept, this would be a major of study. Something you want to study at the university. Tell me about it. Why do you find math so intellectually engaging? Why do you find philosophy so engaging? Why do you want to study philosophy? This would be a great prompt, particularly if you have settled on your major and you want to write about it. Sure. Just make sure that you pick something that's worth talking about. Just don't pick something that sounds a little mundane, a little ordinary, a little everyday. This would probably be something you would be studying at the school. I'm going to keep going because I'm running out of time. I don't want to keep you guys late. All right, so the open-ended prompt. All right, so this could be too broad in that it may allow you to pick something that maybe won't be a great essay prompt. So the other prompts are very focused. I already sort of have a picture of what the essay is immediately. This is so open-ended, we can pick any topic we want, any question we want. So based on the other prompts, I can already tell that they want to know about you and what matters to you. So don't submit your Macbeth essay, even though it was a great essay. Don't submit that essay you wrote about Beowulf. They don't care. They don't want to know about Beowulf. They want to know about you. And they want evidence from your own life to support whatever claim you're making about yourself. So certain writers, actually certain universities actually have had what are sort of unconventional or maybe even outlandish prompts. I've seen, what is your favorite word and why? Can you imagine writing 650 words about what your favorite word in the English language is and why? Someone could pull it off. An advanced writer, a skillful writer could do this in a way that is engaging, in a way that is interesting. You can even, maybe you want to put this in the Amazon search. You can search for essays that worked, and you can read a whole book of essays that worked and gotten people into really top schools. What is your favorite word and why? That would be an interesting question. Create a new word and its accompanying definition. So create a new a word for the English language and define it in 650 words. A skillful writer could pull this off. So you could explain to me the etymology of the word. Well, the word is a combination of these two words from English. So this first part of this word, you could talk about the origin of it. You could talk about the etymology of the second word, and then you're putting these two words together. You are coining your own word for English, and you're going to talk about why everyone should be using this word. A skillful writer could pull this off. This would be a hard thing to do. I could give this assignment to a room full of people, and maybe I'd get one or two good ones back. This is a difficult assignment. So, I mean, you could choose a prompt such as this. If you are a really skillful writer, do it. I mean, you can look on Amazon, look for writing essays that have won writing contests. You can read a whole book there are some fantastic essayists out there. It's amazing to read what some of these writers can do. So I would consider these to be advanced. These would be hard prompts. Someone could pull it off, but not everyone. So you might want to, if you're a really good writer, you might want to pick a difficult prompt, because maybe you can set your application aside from everyone else's with a unique prompt like this. I'm just going to go slightly over time here. I'm not going to keep you super long, but I want to talk a little bit about the structure of your essay prompt. Here's another great prompt. I want to go over it just because it's such a good prompt. This is a prompt Stanford has used before. What matters to you and why? I think this is a perfect prompt. It's succinct. Something must matter to you at this stage in your development. What is important to you? Is your family important to you? Is your community important to you? Is the environment important to you? Is your future career important to you? Something must matter to you at this point in your life. Something matters to you. If nothing does, nothing ever will. And I just refuse to believe it. It can't all be nihilism. I refuse to believe that is the case. Something matters in this world. And your perspective is going to be different from someone else's. Something matters to you. Something motivates you as a person. All right, so if I had to do this assignment tomorrow, I would probably pick number 2. I'd pick that how did I overcome a challenge prompt, and I'd pick this one. I'd probably write each of those essays, and I just pick whichever one's better and submit that. That's a perfect prompt. What matters to you and why? Something matters. All right, in the last few minutes, I'm just going to briefly talk about essay structure. So your writing will have paragraph structure. If you want to be taken seriously in life, I think all of your writing should have paragraph structure. You're going to have an introduction, you're going to have a body, and you're going to have a conclusion. The thesis, whatever you're trying to prove, that'll be in your introduction, and you will use support from your own life in the body of your paper, your supporting paragraphs. And your conclusion just primarily creates closure. I could tell that this essay is over. I could go and put this one down. I can go read another one. You're wrapping up all the loose ends. That's the main function of a conclusion. It creates closure. All right, so you've written so many essays. I'm not going to go through all of this. All right. There should be a restatement of your thesis in the conclusion. I know. Yeah, I'm just going a minute over. It's okay. All right. So they will grade the essay. We've included a sample rubric here. I don't know what a particular school will use, but they will give it a grade. So we've just created one here with an analysis category and a writing category. So the analysis category is just how well did you analyze the prompt? Yeah. So you can read those bullets on your own time. We're running out of time here. The writing category, this is just the nuts and bolts of English. So does it have paragraph structure? Does it have a thesis? Could I underline the thesis if I wanted to? Does it maintain a formal style and objective tone? We said we needed that. Does it have both an introduction and a conclusion? Is it free or virtually free of errors? That's important. Okay, so this is the last thing here. This is just a sample essay response, and this worked. This is a real response to that prompt number 2. This was written by a student, and the student was accepted. So I'm not going to read this right now. I'm not going to have you read this right now. You can read this on your own time, but this essay worked. Just consider it when you get a chance. Think about what this essay is doing that works well for it. Think of what things this essay could perhaps improve. But this person was accepted. So when you get a chance, just read this essay. This person talks about overcoming, a problem. I'm just glancing at it. Does it have a thesis? Yes, it has a thesis. It's in this first paragraph. It looks like there's some supporting evidence from this person's life. And here's a conclusion. And it looks like there is a restatement of the thesis. So that's everything an essay should have. So when you get a chance, take a look at this. I know, I'm sorry, I apologize, went a couple minutes over, but just read this essay when you get a chance. Not everyone's going to write an essay, but I did want to cover it just in case you end up writing an essay for the Common App essay. All right, so that's all I have for tonight. I do want to say this. You have all taken practice SATs on Blue Book. So your only homework, we never assign homework except for this. Just go over the questions that you missed. The solutions are on Blue Book. The solutions are also in the physical Blue Book. The same tests that are on Blue Book are in here, the first 4 of them anyway. So just make sure you go over the ones that you missed with the solutions, and that's it. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. So any questions? No questions? All right, I'm going to sign us off because we're already over time. Thank you guys. Thank you for being such a great class, such a great group. You guys have an
Thank
excellent
you.
night. All right, well, see you. All right, see you guys.